Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all their support. There's even a brand new Brigadier General tier where you can get a shout out on a Commander's Quarters episode that's dedicated to you. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. Really quick before this episode gets started, please, if you have not seen the initial deck tech for this deck, well, please check that episode out first. That Wolfpack episode would be the initial episode that you'd want to watch before watching this Break the Bank, because this Break the Bank, well, might not make all that much sense if you haven't seen that episode first. So, I'll wait here a second. Okay, I assume that we're now on the same page. You've seen that episode, and now we can jump into the Break the Bank. And just like that deck tech, this Break the Bank comes to you courtesy of Connie, who's been supporting this channel as a Golden Pig tier patron. I truly couldn't do this without the support from amazing patrons like Connie, so again, Connie, thank you so much. And as a reminder, the commanders that Connie chose were Anara and Nadier, where they focus on Wolf Tribal and Wolf tokens. So really quick, Anara is a 4/4 Wolf beast that says as long as it's your turn, commanders you control have indestructible. And the partner to Anara is Nadier, a 3/3 elf warrior that has whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, put a +1 counter on Nadier, Agent of Duskenel. And when Nadier leaves the battlefield, you create a number of 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens equal to its power. So again, Anara can protect both of our commanders, help us be aggressive with them, and Nadier can make us a ton of elf warrior tokens when we have, our wolf tokens go away, and then Nadier goes away. Regardless, with this Break the Bank and the expanded budget, now let's jump into what cards we're adding into this deck. So first up, we have the absolutely incredible Hollowhenge Overlord, a 4/4 wolf with flash that has at the beginning of your upkeep for each creature you control, let's say wolf or werewolf, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. So basically at the beginning of our upkeep, this essentially just doubles up the number of wolves that we have. And yeah, that is absolutely incredible. Especially since we can just flash this in right before our turn so our opponents barely have any time to try to deal with it. And by the time they eventually can deal with it, it might be too late. Regardless, another new fantastic wolf is Cemetery Prowler, a 3/4 wolf with vigilance that has when it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile a card from a graveyard. Spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card type they share with cards exile with Cemetery Prowler. So first up, a 3/4 vigilance for just 3 mana. That's not bad at all, and on top of that, of course, this can be some fantastic graveyard hate. But more importantly, this can give us some fantastic cost reduction and save us a ton of mana throughout the game. Next up, we've got Silver Fur Partisan, a 2/2 wolf warrior that has trample, and whenever it or a werewolf we control becomes the target of an instant or sorcery spell, we get a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield. Basically, hey, if you target any of our wolves, we get more wolves. So this is some great deterrence, or at the very least, insurance to our opponents actually targeting our things. Next up though, we've got Primal Adversary, a 4/3 wolf with trample, but it can be much bigger than that. It has when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 in a green any number of times, so basically multi-kicker 1 in a green. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1 counters on Primal Adversary, then up to that many target lands you control become 3/3 wolf creatures with haste that are still lands. So this wolf can get bigger and bigger and bigger and turn our lands into threats as well. And speaking of bigger wolves, next up there's Wolfear Silverheart, which can be absolutely massive, a 4/4 with Soul Bond. And when it is paired with another creature, each of those creatures gets +4/+4. So this is essentially an 8/8 for 5 mana that also pumps another creature +4/+4. And we can make this and the rest of our team even more impactful with Howlpack Resurgence. It has flash and it's going to give each creature that's a wolf or werewolf we control +1/+1 and trample. So we can flash this in as a fantastic combat trick if we really want to. Moving on though, next up we've got Master of the Wild Hunt, a 3/3 that's going to give us a 2/2 wolf token at our upkeep. On top of that, by tapping all untapped wolf creatures we control, each wolf tapped this way deals damage equal to its power to target creature. That creature is going to deal damage equal to its power divided as its controller chooses among any number of those wolves. So it's a fantastic token producer that can also be utilized to take down some creatures. And speaking of token producers, there's Mayor of Avabrook, which is just a 1/1 human advisor werewolf that has other human creatures you control get ++1, but more importantly, it has the beginning of each upkeep if no spells were cast last turn transform Mayor of Avabrook. It transforms into Halpak Alpha, a 3/3 werewolf that's going to give other werewolf and wolf creatures we control ++1. On top of that, at the beginning of our end step, we get a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield. And at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells this turn, we transform it back. Regardless, when it is on this side, it's a fantastic anthem and token producer for us. Moving on though, we've got Halpak Piper, a 2/2 human werewolf that can't be countered. On top of that, by paying 1 in green, we can tap and put a creature card from our hand onto the battlefield. If it's a wolf or werewolf, we untap it, activate only as a sorcery. And of course, it's got Daybound, so once it becomes night, it flips over to Wild Song Howler. That's a 4/4 werewolf that has, whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put in your hand, put the rest of them on your library in a random order. So on the front side, we've got a fantastic way to cheat creatures into play and do it multiple times if it's wolves or werewolves. And on the back side, we've got a more powerful werewolf that can also get us creatures off the top. Next up, let's talk about Garrett Curse Huntsman, a legendary planeswalker that starts off with 5 starting loyalty. His 0 is create 2/2 black and green wolf creature tokens with, when this creature dies, put a loyalty counter on each Garrett you control. His -3 is destroy target creature, draw a card, and his -6 is you get an emblem with creatures you control get +3/+3 and have trample. So this is a planeswalker that can make us a lot of wolves, it can destroy some creatures to draw some cards, and it can make us basically have a permanent overrun effect. And speaking of making a lot of tokens, there's Second Harvest, which says for each token you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. So this can double up on all of our wolf tokens at instant speed out of nowhere. And speaking of instant speed, we're going to be adding in Heroic Intervention, which is going to give permanents we control hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. When it comes to ways to protect our board, this is definitely one of the most effective ones out there. And finally, we're going to be upgrading one of our lands as well with Tainted Wood. It can tap to add a colorless, or it can tap for either of our colors, but only if we have a swamp. But now that we've gone through every single card that we're going to be adding into this deck, what cards are we going to be taking out? Like I always say in these episodes, and I'd like to mention, just because we are taking out these cards does not mean that they are bad cards. It's just that with our upgraded budget, we are going to be adding in upgraded cards, and of course, some cards need to get taken out for that. So some cards that we're going to be taking out are Pack Song Pup, Somberwald Beastmaster, Wolfear Avenger, Witchstalker, Ferocious Pup, Somberwald Alpha, and Pack Guardian. We're also going to be taking out Chameleon Colossus, Raised by Wolves, Predator's Howl, Nevinyrral's Disc, and Professor's Warning. Oh, and of course, since we added in a land, we're also taking out a forest. Regardless, now that we've talked about all the cards that we're adding into this deck and all the cards that we're taking out of this deck, let's talk about the deck's price. With these Break the Banks, we have an upgraded budget that goes all the way up to $100, and we utilize nearly all of it with $99.54 of an estimated cost. Do keep in mind, though, that this estimated cost does include the cost of basic lands, so if you already have those, there's some extra savings there. And if you're looking for more potential savings, buy this deck on TCG Player and utilize heavily played and damaged cards because those cards need a home too. Though, do keep in mind that with this estimated cost, the cost of shipping is not included, and that might vary depending upon where you live. And with that, the show is coming to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So make sure you comment below and let me know what your thoughts on this episode are. And as always, thanks again and have a good one.